I almost didn't make it to this video because I couldn't find a pencil sharpener to sharpen my MAC lip pencil to line my lips to then start this video. And then I got upset because the MAC lip pencil is like $30 and it doesn't have a sharpener attached to it. And then I went down a rabbit hole. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how I self-tape. So for starters, this video is being shot on my iPhone, and I am not getting agency style dressed today like I probably will for future videos because I just got in from Guatemala and then a layover in Miami and then like an extended delayed flight back to Atlanta, and I didn't get back until 3 a.m. But as I was working with my model counselor client, I realized that this would be a cool opportunity for me to teach people how I tape. So here we go. Okay, so these are the two pieces of equipment that I use. I use just a traditional ring light, and I use the white kind of like filter that they typically have on there. And then I have this tripod that I got from Best Buy, the bridge I got from Best Buy. And then this piece right here, I think I also got from Best Buy, but it was a separate piece than the actual tripod. The tripod, this one is Sunpack, but if I have to be honest, through my rain, winds, and storms, this thing has been difficult to work with. But these are my two pieces of equipment. All right, let's go. Okay, so I kind of want my shirt to show. Let me pull this back. Just gonna adjust this on camera until it's framed. Okay, because you always want to check your different framings. So I have three pieces of equipment. The one I'm recording on right now is my iPhone 13. I think it's like 128 gig, whatever that one is. But I did opt into iCloud, which I regret, but it's already done. I have an iPhone 11, and then I also have a Canon G7X. Now I've had this Canon G7X for a while. Not a while, like since like December, but I never use it for any of my tapes. I just end up using my iPhones because it's a lot easier for me to just like record what I need to and then like chop it up on iMovie and then like send it over to Actors Access or Cast Network, so whatever email source they have to receive auditions. Okay, as you can see, I am in front of a white wall. I don't know where the accent came from. I'm in front of a white wall. It's actually like an off-white. And so any wall that you have in your house that has enough space to frame and something like this should technically work. Now, a lot of casting directors are gonna want something that's a little tight of a frame like this. I'll shrink down, but if I had the time, I'll just adjust my tripod. Most casting directors will want a frame like this. Sometimes they want it even tighter. I would say this is like a chest to head. And then there's like shoulders to head, which is something like a little tighter like this. And then very rarely will you have a casting director ask you to do like a waist up framing. Sometimes you'll have full body, and that's when it gets a little tricky depending on the kind of space you have in your house. But for now, I'm gonna do a waist up framing because I wanna just have my waist out. Also, it's important to note that I am recording this using my ring light, and my ring light is on a setting. I will, I guess, cut it off and on to show you guys that. But I'm using my ring light, not my tripod. My tripod is right here, and work with me as I vocally communicate through this video. Okay, so the ring light on a white wall. Let's go back to the wall. So sometimes you see people with green or blue. No, not green. I'm thinking green screen. Sorry, I'm thinking film. I'm thinking work. You see people with like a blue backdrop. And that's not necessary. I do think that's very LA. I don't think it's a bad thing at all if you do have it. I'm not knocking anybody that tries it. I just don't think you need to go out and get a blue sheet to put behind you. I do think that depending on your skin tone, like sometimes certain colors can wash you out. So if you have more of a fair skin tone, if you feel like the white washes you out on top of like the bright light in front of you, then you might want to do like a gray. And you can go to Amazon and get like one of those like white backdrops, or you could just go get a sheet from like the fabric store and then pop it up with some pins and then just have that, cut it into a frame and just have that. Be resourceful. Don't go crazy out here. Okay, so that's what I would say about the wall. I've seen blue. You can totally do blue if you want to grab blue and you feel like, hey, this is a vibe I want to go for sure. I am recording on an off-white, or I will gladly and easily record on a white. But if you feel like that doesn't work for your skin tone, I totally get that. There are grays that also work. That's what I'll say for the backdrop. Now for the lighting. I have friends that have like big lighting equipment and they'll bring that stuff in for tapes. I've used them. It's great. I am just using a typical ring light. And so what I'll do is I'll cut my light all the way up. That's all the way up. Geez, whew, blind. And I'm scaling it down. Now it's off. Well, super low. Now it's off. Now it's back on. All the way bright. And I keep it here. I'm going to look at myself. So you want to also be careful of like shadows. You see I'm a little bit shadowy. And I think that's where some of the framing comes into play. Like if I'm doing a more like a chest head up, then the shadow behind me doesn't really matter. You just want to make sure you're cognizant of the shadows. And that's going to help with light. To the right of me is, let me see if I can show you guys. To the right of me is like this window. I should have did that. But I'm not really getting much light from that. Like my bedroom during certain hours has way better lighting. Right now, I'm just kind of using the light that's in my living room. That is just like fan light and then directly my ring light. But this typically works for me. And I'm word vomiting and we're gonna move on. Okay, so that should cover lighting, at least my style and lighting. That should also cover backdrop or my style and backdrop, right? Like nobody's like almighty correct or wrong or right. I think the self-tape era is fairly new. This is just how I do my things. And I book. I work, honey, and that's a very, I'm very proud of that, not egotistical, very grateful. But I do want to share what I learned with you guys. So that's what I would say about framing. Talked about framing, right? Shoulders or chest, waist up, full body. We've talked about the backdrop. We've talked about the lighting. Of course, it should be quiet in your background. I think in my background, I currently have like a frequency going because of time. But you should typically have no audio in the backdrop. And sometimes that could be difficult if like you live in a busy area and like a car goes by with like music and like that's your best take. Or like an ambulance goes by or maybe like the fire alarm in your building goes off. Trust me, I've been through it all. And so I understand audio issues, but you want to do the best you can to try to work around any of that. I find that early in the morning, the people are not so busy. So like sunrise times around 6 or 7 where it's like mad early, but I know it's going to be quiet. Sometimes might be the best time to tape. Or if it's like later in the day for you, might be better to tape. So just kind of gauge audio and lighting and kind of pick the best time for you. I want to frame this back down. Be in control of your frame. Know what you look like. Okay, so I am recording from my front facing selfie camera. For this video, I am filming in 4K. I think at 24 frames per second. But I'm only doing that for this YouTube video. I do not typically do that for any of my self-tapes because it takes up a ton of space. So I typically record on HD and I record from my selfie camera. And some people are like, well, why do you do that? Like, it messes up the quality. And you can do whatever you want to do. Most of my friends definitely shoot from the end camera because there are 3 cameras back there. Why would you not use them? But any taping that I do, or any recording that I do is selfie style. Because that's just, I feel more comfortable that way. I'm very movie active when I talk. And so I like to know kind of my body movements and things. I'm more cognizant of myself. Kind of like a mirror when posing, because but I'm not even really looking at myself. I just know that this is my frame. And if I go too up, I'm too, if I go here, I'm looking directly at you guys. But that's why I do it. Now you can do it the other way to get yourself out of that space. Some people don't want to look at themselves. Totally okay. Don't do that. Just flip it, frame it, and check your frame. And let's see what that looks like. Don't judge my feet. Okay, so we are going to frame. You guys see the ring light. See a tripod. And I got a text message. I just ordered some Instacart. Let's check on that really quick while I get in this frame. I need to replace my images. Okay. All right, so the camera is on the right side and the lenses are up, right? Like there's different ways to hold the camera, but that's where the lenses are right now. I'm shooting in 4K at 24 FPS, which are those little numbers on the right corner of the camera, if I believe. Let me see how I'm framed and what it looked like. Or, yeah, just so you guys see the difference. Okay, so now I'm back to selfie mode. So you saw what that looked like from the back camera, and this is typically how I frame from my front. Again, your choice. I'm not saying anything is right or wrong, your call. So this is how I tape. That's the setup of my tape. Now, depending on like what the agency wants when they're like slate your name, age, and height, you're most likely gonna slate that directly to the camera. Hi, my name is Aubrey Ebony. I'm 5'7" with Lily's Talent. Simple like that. Sometimes they'll want your name, age, location, local hire. Are you available for the filming dates? And that gets a little more extensive because you have to memorize. You have to memorize, hi, my name is Aubrey Ebony with the Vi Agency in New Jersey. I am a New York local hire. I'm 5'7". I am available for the filming dates. I am vaccinated, right? And so at that point, you have to memorize a longer script for your slate, but you still want to come off as organized and cohesive, even if you're like, wait, what am I saying? And if you slip, that's okay. Don't be afraid to like let your personality shine, because self-tapes are all about personality, darling. If you're not showing your personality in your self-tape and you're trying to be very very like stale or just very boring or average or whatever it is, I think that, and don't throw an accent in there. I'm just ridiculous and actress. Yeah, but you want to have some kind of personality in your self-tape. So make sure you have some personality. Don't be afraid to like, be you. I don't typically tape in like tighter crop tops like this because a lot of the clientele I'm going to work for, like Panera Bread or Maybelline or different things like that. Maybelline's, they want to see more face skin. Anyway, these brands that I audition for want to see you in brands that are relatable lifestyle. So just kind of keep that in mind. Yeah. Okay, so I am, first of all, don't judge Gemini in the corner, like she's grown crazy. I'm framing up my iPhone 13 Pro that I have, that is what I typically record on, to show you guys what it should look like, or what it basically looks like when you are self-taping. I'm gonna come in from this side of the camera. And this is my iPhone 11, and I typically use the iPhone 11 for like teleprompter work, or if I have to audio record something, like if I need a reader and I can't find anyone and I have like a dire emergency, I then use my my iPhone 11 to record the off audio that is not my audio for my tapes. Again, these are things that I do. I'm not saying they're recommended. They're just things that I do. So anyway, when I'm taping, it should look something like this. Hi guys, my name is Aubrey Ebony. I am located in Atlanta, Georgia with Ursula Weebman Models. I am available for all the filming dates, and that's what it should look like. You want to make sure that you're genuinely having like fun. Like you want to show your personality. You want to show you. If they're looking for you to like look over to the right and wave at somebody, then look over and notice somebody and get shocked. And that was kind of like a forced shocked, because I'm not really acting. I'm like thinking while telling you guys and instructing. But that's ultimately what you want to do. You want to have your light, your backdrop, you want to have space, and you want to be able to be the best you. So I hope that helps for your self tapes. Have a happy Tuesday, and until the next video.